Minecraft Skyblock on Cosmic Sky has fuel which powers automation, but I need to make a fuel system that I can use to run automation on my island. So that is what we're going to be figuring out in today's video. So without further ado, let's begin. So we need to go ahead and try and make a better fuel system for our island so we can start setting up a ton of other automation, because right now our only automated system is the fuel itself into the Slayer setup we currently have, which is not very sustainable. So I'd like to expand upon that today. Also, if you ever go ahead and purchase anything on the Cosmic store, make sure to use my creator code. It is literally on screen and my branding name. I'd appreciate it a lot. But if we go ahead and take a look at island level and we look at 15, we are currently at 15. So we unlock the sugarcane, and then before that we've unlocked a few other things that we need to start using. But the main thing that is not displayed is of course in island upgrades. If we go ahead and look for the, I believe, island automation at level 15, we can unlock for $200,000 the linked ender chests, which are insane for automation. So we are going to go ahead and purchase that. Anyways, what that means is we can now use our linked ender chests on our island. We can put them down and you can see it says no channel. So we need to go ahead and claim our channels that I've collected over like the past few weeks. If we go ahead and right click these, they add to the linked ender chest, and there's different kind of channels you can use to transport items in specific areas. So we have up to purple as well as the white channel, which has roughly, I think, around 100 slots from what I last remember, or infinite. I know at one point it had only 100, so that is kind of the rough limit we have for this. And you kind of want to put your best fuel in there, so once we get iron fuel working, it's gonna go right into there. So we'll be using that channel at some point. We do need to go ahead and set up a location for the fuel. So for the fuel location, it's definitely gonna be back here. We're just gonna replace this system. So we'll tear it down. Our slayers will stop running for a while. It's all good. Also, make sure to leave a like on the video. I'd appreciate it a lot. It gets the video out in the YouTube algorithm. I got a little bit more grass, and then we're just gonna go ahead, place it all in, and then be done filling in this area. All right, this is all situated. We're ready to set up our fuel system. So we are gonna start tearing all this down, and one change they did make on the server is you can't trade fuel that you generate on your island anymore or put it in your vaults. Quite literally, that makes it kind of impossible to quick fill everything that needs to fill up over time, so that is kind of unfortunate. So once we set up the system, it's gonna have to eventually just build up its fuel backlog on its own. And I am gonna be pulling up a older video that I made for how I built my fuel design, because it's quite literally the same design as last map. It's always pretty much the same unless they change a few things, which they did add a whole new thing called electricity on the server. Of course, electricity is a real life thing, but they added their own system on the server for automation. There's some sort of modules for electricity, and I'm currently not aware of how that works, so for now, it's kind of just not going to be on my to-do list. Okay, so everything is now put away. We are good to go and start building our new system. So the first plan is we need a 30-second rotation, and also we're going to split it by 10 enriched nodes because you get 3 fuel per enriched node when it's mined, and then regular ones you only get 1, depending on if you're mining it on your own or of course player mined. So when I would mine it, I get 3, but that's not really what we're doing. So we're gonna have 20 of these coal ones down, so we get like 20 every 30 seconds or so, with of course the 30 enriched. So the bot is going to be placed down right in the center, and then I think we'll just make a simple 2x5 area there for the enriched, and then expand this out by 4. I guess I'll just expand on the sides like this for now, and that'll be good enough. So we're gonna put down the mining bot, and I am gonna disable it for the time being because it doesn't need to start currently, but we will prepare everything. So we'll put the hopper on the top, and then we need our link chests. I keep forgetting that we are starting to use those now. It kind of sucks that they're very late into the game if you're playing as a solo like myself, but it is what it is. So for the time being, we're gonna have it set on blue channel, which will be our coal channel. We are gonna go ahead and shift right click this, and this is gonna be our coal channel. So we're gonna name it coal fuel, as that would be the best option. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, I am gonna quickly just push this all back just so we have more room to work with on this side for the actual spinners, is what I kind of call them, for how the loot goes in. They're kind of like spinning loot pools. Basically, I'm just gonna move this all back and we should be good. Okay, so now it is moved back. Everything just has to regenerate, which is all good. And we'll put a tier 1 upgrade in here just so we get extra loot potentially, and just the extra bonuses, of course, as you can see. It's good to get these. So for the whole layout, it's basically basically gonna be 2 blocks up from the floor here, and then we're gonna have a loop going around like this, and then I'll explain what the honey does right now. Basically, the honey, if you stand against, let's say, a regular block, let's actually do a comparison. So if I run against it, and then I go run against the honey, you can see my screen shifted just slightly, and I can't go to the stone brick anymore because of the little shift, because it's actually a little bit further out, which allows items to be picked up from hoppers underneath this. It's a very good concept to go by if you're trying to pick up items super easily, as well make a really cool design too. And then on the inside, we're just gonna go up, I think about here, and we need 2 signs. So the sign is gonna be here, the water will sit here where the crafter is going to be, and then we repeat the same process over here, but just with no crafter. And then we put down the water. As you can see, the water will be in this format, and then our crafter is going to be sitting facing this way, but we gotta break the block under it. So we have the inputs here. Basically, there's an extra hopper going into here for extra coal if we need it. So we have a regular chest we're gonna put here with a collection chest linked to it on the side, so we can make it double the output into 2 different slots of the crafter. And then we're just gonna have this set as coal, but this one right here in the center feeds down into the crafter still, which also feeds down on the side. It's very convenient. So then what we're gonna do is put our fuel up here for the time being, but when we're done, we're gonna be replacing this hopper, making it only feed downwards into the top to fuel the crafter up here in the crafter itself. And then this collection chest will be moved over here and have the same item, which is fuel of course in it, but instead we'll be using the fuel generated from this to keep producing more and putting it into this crafter. It's just an infinite loop that you essentially want to create. So for collecting items, we have 2 link chests here that are going to be on the blue channel and have hoppers on the sides. I'm not too certain if the items are going to feed in properly, so I am going to test this out. Okay, so it does feed into the second hopper, so I think we're good. So we set this to coal, and we set this to coal, and we got to jumpstart this whole thing, so let's start mining this, I guess. Okay, never mind. What we're going to do is actually make the fuel collection the way we were going to do it originally, or afterwards, I guess I could say. So right here is just going to be fuel. Then we replace the hopper here, and we're also going to be setting this to a blue channel. And I completely forgot, we go in the crafter, click this button, go to the second page, and click on the coal fuel. This should start crafting the fuel, so we just need regular fuel to go in now, and we should be good. So now we have our coal fuel set up, but we can't actually do iron fuel right yet. If we go into island level 16 is when we hit iron nodes, which we need to place down to make iron fuel. So we're kind of stuck for the time being as of right now. So back here, we're gonna have some carrot farmers going back and forth, I think is the plan. We'll have 2 of them running, so let's get that going. So this area is gonna be where the farmland is. I'm just gonna grab some grass and fill all this in. Okay, so the farms are gonna be right here. We just need to go ahead, place in the crops so we can start letting them grow. And then I'm gonna build one above this as well. We might need to get more carrots. I'm not too certain. I think we'll have close to enough. All right, we got more farmland down. Let's just place this in and see what we got. Okay, yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more carrots. I'm gonna buy some more if we can. Our best deal is $1 million for 41 carrots. I'll take it. Better than nothing. And we do have some leaves here we are gonna go ahead and place in on each side. And then we're gonna put the water inside of the leaves just so we can contain the water and make sure that it's actually growing the crops quicker. We might as well. Would not hurt at all. And then on this side, we're gonna have 2 blocks, and we're gonna have the auto harvesters sit right here. And we're definitely gonna need more hoppers. I am gonna turn these off for a second. And we're gonna set up the cycle times. When you go into the auto harvester, you can set up how long it takes to refuel, or like how long it's gonna sit here and then grab fuel in that time period. So this is about 5 seconds. I'm gonna bump this up to about, let's say 20 seconds, so 1/3 of a minute on each of these, just so we can maximize experience on our island, of course. So we just make our hoppers kind of in a weird format here that a link chest can go on top and flow through all of the loot into here, which is good enough. We'll set it to coal in a bit because I gotta wait until this all backlogs. I had to turn this off because it's not backlogging yet. Also, I'm realizing now we're just gonna make 2 separate bots for coal and fuel, so it's always maximized. So right here is gonna be a mining bot, and then how much space do I have between the 2? I have about 4 blocks if I actually put the bot here, so we're gonna move all this around and maximize the speed by not having them on just 1 bot, just so we can get more resources going, because we definitely need that. So for the coal bot, we need about 27 nodes down. That's its rotation. And then of course for the regular fuel, we're gonna have 30 enriched down. So we're just gonna go along, I believe, here, and then put 3 and and we're done. We just gotta put in the bot on this side, of course, and we'll use another link chest even though we don't really need to. While we're waiting, we're gonna decrease the amount of collection area we have for our spiders because we don't really need this much space, or collection, I guess you could say, and we're gonna put that to use on the carrots so we can get the money from that as well. I forgot as well, I need to put the bot upgrades on those. All right, the collection is situated. We just need to go ahead, make our double chest with a collection, and of course set it to carrots. There we go. And of course for the harvesters, we need to put a tier 1 in both of these, and I'm actually gonna see if there's tier 2s and see how much they are on the auction house. They're about 1 million each, so we'll go ahead and buy those. So now we should get the 2 times working speed, which is really good in the extra island XP, extra crops, fuel reduction, very good stuff. We're gonna go here and break these 3 on here, and we can make 1 more. So there we go. This whole side is gonna be the enriched version, so 3 items instead of 1. That should help a lot. Basically, we are missing out on a lot of coal that we need, so I kind of have to wait until we generate a lot more. It's just a waiting game. Also, I think we need to go back to this previous design, but just with the collection on fuel, because we're not getting enough of the coal fuel actually put into what it needs to be put into. So we'll set it back to fuel, and then we'll go from there. So now that we're done this, we are going to preset the iron fuel, which is literally just another one of these. And then above this, later on, we'll put the iron fuel, like, nodes area, I guess you could say. So something similar to this, but for the iron itself. That is pretty much it. It's just a matter of hitting level 16 to set it all up fully. We just got to build another one of these, so I'm going to grab everything out of my PV4. All right, I got the basic layout pretty much done. We just need some water and signs. Boom and boom. There we go. I guess the one thing we could do is just preset that. There we go. I also did go ahead and just put down the layout that we're going to be using as well. I have the collection down. We are going to set it all the way to the iron scrap item in the mining section of the collection chest. And then this will be set to the white channel, I believe, at some point. But for now, it doesn't really matter. We'll set up the channels once we have the iron fuel ready. It doesn't really matter if they're not selected. One thing we're also going to do as well is make sure that these are on 90 seconds, so the maximum it can go to, which is 120. And the reason we're setting it to that is so we can let these grow and then they'll harvest occasionally. That's probably the better option. And of course, so we're not wasting as much fuel. So we've made our fuel setup for the coal. Now we're just going to wait until I hit island level 16. So I will give an update once we are at island level 16. So it is the next day, and I have managed to hit island level 16. So that means we can go ahead and quickly set up our iron nodes, which is going to be amazing. I do want to give a quick update on the things I've done just before we go ahead and do that. Basically, I made 3 chunks instead of the 1 chunk on the auto harvesting farm for the carrots. I did put collection in each chunk as well, and I put tier 3 harvester upgrades on the harvesters so they get more XP and have, I believe, a 3 times speed, as you can see here. Very, very good stuff right there. And then of course I put down a bit more of enriched coal nodes so we get more coal for our current coal setup. And last but not least, I did expand the pitcher pod farm and replace the potatoes. Over time it's going to be all replaced with pitcher pods. I think is going to be the plan moving forward. We'll see. Anyways, if we go into my chest, I have a stack of iron nodes and we only need 24, but if we want to do double the output with a tier 2 mining upgrade, we can go ahead and use 48. So we are going to use a tier 2 and a tier 1 on a mining bot. So I think we're going to build it right here where the stone brick is, and we're going to put down the mining bot, put in its upgrades. There we go. And it's going to run off of iron fuel once we get that all situated. Okay, so we should be done with the iron setup. This is what it's going to look like, and we need a hopper and a linked ender chest, so we'll grab that out. And then for the time being, of course, it's going to start on coal fuel. So let's place this guy down, set it to the coal fuel channel, and I guess we can start this guy up. Of course, we gotta wait until the nodes actually regenerate before it starts getting all the scraps and crafting all this. Oh, and we also need to set this to blue channel because this guy requires in the iron fuel recipe coal fuel, so you can generate the iron fuel with the iron scraps and the coal fuel. So we have the recipe put inside the crafting bot and the coal fuel slowly filling up. It's just a matter of waiting until this starts up, of course. Okay, so some of the iron is starting to be mined. That is perfect. So we should be getting iron fuel. As you can see, we just got that going. going. So now we're gonna set this into the white channel, set it for both of these, and we're gonna rename this, and we're gonna name it iron fuel. So now that we have the iron fuel situated, we can start making these bots run off of iron fuel. So I'm gonna make the iron fuel bot run off of itself, basically. So what I've done is I made everything in here gonna be iron fuel, and then it only prioritizes the first slot in the mining bot. So these other slots here are actually not gonna be used at all. It's just kind of a filter. That's basically it. And then once we have enough iron fuel created, we are gonna do the same for these bots down here. Once you get iron fuel, it's kind of just you transfer over to it and you don't really use the coal fuel as much. It's all really used to just produce more iron fuel because the difference is crucial. It's 250 for iron fuel for the value of the fuel, and then it's only 10 for a coal fuel, so it's significantly better. And then as you can see, all the other ones are definitely OP as well. They all have their benefits, it's just a matter of getting them and then using them. So I managed to get all these bots set up and working, but now we need to go ahead, go into these bots, the Slayers, and we're gonna put coal fuel as a spare source to fill all these in, of course. And I think I'm gonna put the tier 2 upgrades on these, and if I need to take them off, I will, but for now it looks like it's good enough. And of course, since we have so much overflow of coal fuel, I think we're just gonna leave the auto harvesters on coal fuel for the time being. So that being said, we got our coal fuel setup re-optimized and built, and then we built a iron fuel setup that works fantastic, so we can start doing way more automation. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I do appreciate all the support, and I will see you all in the next one.